Hi, my name is Keri Barnum. I am the Executive Director of New Shelves Books, and I am here today for Free Advice Friday, the hour every Friday where we get together as a community to talk about book marketing, publishing, what's trending, and to just share and grow as a community. It's completely free. You can join us at newshelves.com/FAF. And we do this live. So we take questions live. We also take questions in advance via email. And you can email those into info, I-N-F-O, at newshelves.com. And we have a couple of questions that were emailed over. And the one that has been definitely trending so far is the notice from Ingramspark that there will soon be a price increase. So yes, Ingramspark is going to be upping their print pricing again, not for all types of books and not by any means in all marketplaces. So we can run over that really quickly so that you guys can see exactly what's going on. I'm going to, for the purpose of this one, I'm going to share my screen so we can look at the email together. I think that will probably work better for us on this one. So I'm going to try to share the right screen, but if you end up with like 52 tabs, it's just my browser, no big deal. All right, you guys should be able to see my email, Ingramspark price changes effective March 8th, 2022. Anyone on the call, if you can just confirm on the chat that that's what you're seeing, that would be super helpful. All right, perfect. Thank you. So we had a print price increase not that long ago, and we are indeed seeing another one from Ingramspark. Cost of supplies, supply and demand, supply chain, it's all gone crazy. And so we are seeing an increase again. We're seeing increases on a lot of things. But here are a couple of highlights. So US premium paperback prices have decreased. They're actually getting those prices down. US and Australian hardcover prices have stayed the same. So your average hardcover, no changes. US paperback prices have increased. So that's what we're going to see. And UK paperbacks and hardcover prices have increased. So both the paperback and the hardcover are increasing in the UK, with the exception of premium color, which typically is going to be something you do with like cookbooks or maybe some children's books, something that's really graphic heavy. AU paperback prices have increased with the exception of premium color, and US return fees for titles with a returnable status of return, yes, deliver, will move from $2 a unit to $3 a unit, which means that if you get returns and you're having them delivered to you, it will cost you a little bit more. I've always said that if you're going to accept returns, I personally prefer destroy, and this just solidifies that for me personally. So we are, again, yes, we're going to be seeing a bit of a price increase. I don't think it's going to be much. We're mostly seeing it in our paperbacks, which is what most of you have. And yes, you may have to adjust your prices. If with the last price increase, you did not increase your prices, it may just be time. We're seeing that from everywhere from indie publishers to the big trade publishers, where they're increasing their print prices just a little bit in order to keep up with the market. It's more expensive to print, it's more expensive to ship, and we're just having to pass that on. The good news is that ebooks are still definitely trending, and so a lot of your readers don't really get hit by that paperback price because they are already reading your ebooks instead. And I do believe, in my personal opinion, this will also drive not only ebook sales, but I think it will continue to increase and drive the market for audiobooks, which I know we've already talked about before, and I've already strongly recommended that you jump on, because I think audiobooks are definitely trending over the next 5 years or so, and now's the time to get on that market, especially if you're in romance, thriller, mystery, or a lot of self-help, especially business kind of stuff people listen to on their commute. So that is coming, and I believe there is even a rate card. Let's see, view updated rate card here. I'm going to stop share so I can click on that because I only shared that one screen, and then we will just view that little rate card so that we can take a gander together. All right. Yes. So here's the rate card. Here we go. All right. And of course, it's, you know, it's a little longer. It's got your setup fees and all that kind of stuff. Duplex covers, this is all staying the same. What we're seeing here, though, here we go, is as we get into the paperbacks is what we're really seeing. So it'll be going up just a little bit. I believe I had heard somewhere 6%. I'm not sure if that's actually true. I should have researched more, but it will be a fairly small percentage. And so keep in mind, if your book is $6, or if your book to print it is $6 and it goes up 6%, we're talking like 36 cents. I know we're already working with small margins. I get it, but at least it's not going up by dollars typically. But you do need to adjust. You do need to look at your pricing at your discount and make sure that there's enough meat on the bone that when you sell it, you're not losing money, in which case Ingramspark will cut your book off from distribution, so you're not losing money, or that you're only earning too small of a profit. So those are things you do need to look at as it comes into March, just to be safe. And the whole rate card, again, is right online. I will drop the link for that in our chat so that you can see it if you so desire. So it is what it is. Again, we've always known that print on demand has always been more expensive than offset print, and that's holding true, but also offset print prices are going up as well. Yes, and Tara noted that Ingramspark isn't updating their calculator with the new pricing until January 24th or 26th. So it's hard to do too much checking right now. And yes, it is. I honestly, because I love working under pressure, if the changes go into effect in March, I would be looking in February. Let's be honest, I'll be looking like February 27th at all the books that I work with, but don't be me. Don't be like Keri, go check your things much earlier, but probably the beginning of February is plenty early enough. All right. So Pat was asking about US hardcover for premium color. I don't believe that was on the list. Let me double check, Pat. The premium paperback, so if you're doing premium color paperback in the US, I believe they're decreasing, Pat. So you don't have to worry about that. Most of you who have children's books, though, you're not doing premium color, you're doing standard color, unless you have a lot of detail. But if you are doing premium color, it may even be going down a little bit. Excuse me. Yes, that's a good point, Tara. If you have a lot of books, starting in January or late January will allow you, if you have like IBPA free codes or Ally free codes for Ingramspark, and you've got to change the price barcode cover, you only have 5 uses in a month. So if you have more than 5 books starting in January, we'll give you 5 in January and 5 in February in order to update. So that's a good point for anyone who is a publisher or has a lot of titles. And 5 in March. Yes. Just keep on going. Let's see. My drafted digital has small writing on the back cover. I'd like to fix that and another cover on Amazon. Caroline, if you made the cover in drafted digital, I think you'd have to edit it there. I don't use that function. I don't use the drafted digital cover function, so I can't speak too much to that. But I would think you would fix it right on there, or you'd be able to open it up in some type of design program like InDesign and maybe fix it there. Tara, you will see, yes, Tara is our planner, our beautiful planner, and that is why she's the one who emails me. It's like, hey, Keri, are you ready for this? No, but I should. Thank you. It takes all types, right? It takes all types in a community to make things happen. Love you too. Like I said, takes a community. All right. After we put an ebook up on Amazon Kindle Select for 90 days, how do we cancel the contract so we can send the ebook to draft to digital? It's really easy. You go into your book and on when you're in Amazon, see if I could actually do it right now. The real key is, can I figure out how to get onto my Amazon account? Well, it's a Friday, so maybe. All right, let's see if I can get on here and I will just show you if I can actually get into my account. So that me with my visual learning. All right, let's see. Because it's right there. When you have the option to the right of the book, there's the three little ellipses, the three dots. When you click on it, there's an option to manage your Kindle Select enrollment, and that is how you do it. So I keep pushing the button too quickly because I'm so very impatient. Let's see. Now I'm going to get a code. God bless Amazon and all of their protections on our accounts, right? All right. I think I'm in. I think I can. I think I can. Here we go. Let me share with you. All right. So I am going to go into my KDP account. And here we have 12 Dog Days of Christmas. This one is in Kindle Unlimited. So do you see over to the side, these three little ellipses, the three dots, and it says KDP Select Info. You click on that. Oh, and look, it tells you your start and your end dates. So this one started November 27th, the my 90-day period. It ends February 24th. And then this button says automatically renew this book's enrollment. If I am ready to get my book out of KDP Select as of the end date of February 24th, I just have to click that box to uncheck it and hit save. Easy as that. It'll automatically go out of KDP Select after that term. So it's not hard. It does tell you the dates and then it just won't renew. And even if you know, it doesn't have to be like, okay, I have to do this February 23rd. As long as the book has been in KDP Select, I believe it's 3 days. After that, you can go ahead and uncheck, just so you know, after 90 days, it will automatically fall out of KDP Select. So there you have it. Hopefully that helps. And let me see. There we go. Okie doke, let's see. Scott, I view too small of a margin for profit on a book as anything under 99 cents. What is your opinion? Well, Scott, when looking at Ingramspark, I typically say you're shooting for $1 to $2. If you can hit $2 with a full wholesale discount of 55%, you're doing great as an indie author with print on demand. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but you really are doing great if you're making $2 per book with a wholesale discount. And anything under $1, my opinion is you really have to have a reason for doing it. If you are really, really pushing your paperbacks because you want to get into certain bookstores or compete or something like that, if you have a goal that's driving that decision, fine. But if you don't, I would be upping the price a little bit. But keep in mind also when you're doing this, that you have to make sure that you're looking at what kind of prices are in the market right now and that you're staying within them. If your book is priced at $15.99 and every other middle grade book is priced at $10.99, you're not going to stand a chance. People are going to wonder why you think your book is worth $4 more than $5 more than every other book. So you kind of have to play devil's advocate with yourself in things like that. Let's see. I wonder if there's a way to find out the historical pricing for record keeping. For instance, what was I paying to print my book 5 years ago versus what I'm paying for today? I don't know if they actually have those listed anywhere, David, but you should have old records when you quarterly, when Ingramspark pays out your royalties or your profits, they send you a report. And that report tells you this is how much the book sold for. This is how much it costs to print it. This is how much you get, and then publisher compensation. So if you look at your old compensation reports, it will give you pricing for your print on there, and you can figure it out that way. Is it published somewhere? Maybe. I bet someone published stuff way back when, but you'd probably have to do a lot of digging. I don't know if it would be worth it. I mean, I guess it depends on how curious you are and how much you care, but I'm sure that you could figure it out that way. Do publishers keep track of historical pricing? I bet they do. However, keep in mind, publishers typically are doing offset print runs. And so they have record keeping because they are billing out different things like that. So they would be able to look back, but they are paying up front. They would have invoices that they're tracking and everything like that. So it's more of an upfront cost, and they'd be able to pull it by going directly into their invoice tracking. All right. This contest, and it's TCK Publishing, allows for 1 free entry. Do you think there are any drawbacks to entering? And I'm going to share the link. And no, I do not. I think TCK Publishing is fabulous. We have actually worked with them in the past. I think very highly of their whole crew, their authors. And so I don't see any drawback to jumping on their awards program. Is it the most prestigious? Is it one of those awards like, I don't know, the Ben Franklin Award or something like that? Not quite, to be perfectly honest. However, it is certainly a great website. It's a great program. They treat their authors very fairly. So again, a very big fan of TCK Publishing, and I do think that their awards program is awesome. And sure, go ahead and sign up if you've got a book for that. I self-published my picture book in May 2021. Will both Amazon and KDP send a 1099 for tax purposes? They will both do, excuse me. I'm sitting directly under my heater, and I've just over the last few days realized how much it dries my entire sinus out. Okay, sorry. They will send tax documents. In many places, you actually have to go download them. Like they'll say, hey, they're now available, and you have to go into your account and download them. But yes, you can get tax documents from each of them for your book. All right. Yes. Oh, Tara, that's a good point. So they do send them out if you make more than a specified amount. That specified amount typically is going to be, I think currently for federal taxes, it's $600. So if you make more than $600 in profit, it will send them out. And again, you can download them because I've had people say, yeah, I can find it. You can download it right in your account. All right. I'm going to go back to my emails because I've got questions there. A question about printing your title on the spine. Number one, how important is it to have your title on the spine? Very, very, very important. Let me say it again. It's really, really important to have your title on the spine. Most of the time when you get purchased on a bookshelf, your book is going straight in and all people can see is your spine. So it's really important not only that your title is on the spine, but the spine is attractive and that it stands out in your genre. So it is so important. It is so important. Please do not skip this step. And I know sometimes it's harder with children's books or smaller books. I have often said, add more pages. I don't care if it's about the author, if it's a giveaway page, If it's I don't know, a poem, if it's a special illustration, add more pages to get your title on the spine. If you've got a paperback or a print book, can you promo your other books in the back? Can you do a free chapter of your next book? Do what you've got to do to bulk it up a little bit. Of course, we don't want to just add pages and look like we tried, but find creative ways to add more pages to do that. An endorsement page, like Keri's saying, is a great idea. Different ways, but think about it. Join my Facebook club or whatever it is, make it happen, because it is so important. Even if you're selling just on Amazon, if you're not selling to bookstores and libraries, if I buy a book and I put it on my shelf, I want to be able to see what that book is. I don't want to have to guess and pull every book out to see what book I ordered. That's annoying. So let's not do that to people. And as far as the spine, a question was asked about for Ingramspark, and I pulled this quote directly from the Ingramspark user guide. Titles can be printed with either gloss or matte cover lamination, which is included in the cover price. Spine text is allowed for soft cover books with 48 pages or more, and hardcover books with 18 pages or more. I have full confidence that when you're printing a book, a color book, you can hit 18 pages for hardcover and 48 pages for paperback. I know you can do it, so make it happen. That's my tough love for today. All right. I obviously am very passionate about that one. All right. Oops. Let's see. Okay. Another question I had, Mylene, was about Bookie Call. IBPA has just put out an email that you can save $50 on Bookie Call if you're a member. And Bookie Call, yes, it sounds like booty call, and it's supposed to. It is a very, it's kind of geared to the younger generation a little bit, as you might guess with the name of Bookie Call. And it is being marketed as a dating app for readers, in the sense that you kind of put your profile out there and you are matched with books that would be a good date for you. It is trending. It is something that's getting a lot of attention. People seem to like it. Will it stick around? Only time's gonna tell. We have seen a lot of apps and a lot of programs come and go that are trying to be a younger, more inventive version of Goodreads. Some have done better than others, but none has even come close to that size or range as far as I'm aware. And I think Bookie Call is one of those that's kind of trying to come in and be this new type of Goodreads that not only allows you to kind of track books and things like that, but it matches you to books that you will like. It's the same idea as when Goodreads offers you books from authors like the ones you've already read and rated. It's just doing it in a more hip and trendy way. So with that said, do I think Bookie Call is great for all books? Probably not. As I said, I think this is something that is definitely trending to the younger audience. I think this could be good for young adult books, for romance books that lean toward a younger audience. I think some mystery and thrillers that go towards a younger audience, and some self-help kind of books that go towards a younger audience. I do not think this is the main app that will take off for people in literary fiction, for people who have self-help books that are geared towards an older age. If you've got a back pain book, probably not. If you've got a self-help book that is more serious, or it's about budgeting, I don't think it's going to be your spot. I could be wrong, and I will eat crow gladly. But as far as will it take off? I don't know. And yes, it is fairly expensive. It's $249 for a 1-year listing. And there are a lot of add-ons. It's one of those, we all know them, right? That program that's like, it's only $249. And then it's like, and then $55 for this, and then it's $100 for this, and then it's $250 for this. So you kind of have to decide for yourself. If you have a book that really is in that younger audience and you want to try it, be my guest. I do think romance could possibly do well here. But will it take off? Nah, I'm still out on that one. I'm not quite convinced, personally. And yes, $249 is the IBPA discounted price. $299 is the normal price. And I have had people ask me about it before IBPA kind of announced it and that kind of thing. And I'd said the same thing. The original author who asked me about it has a more mature cozy mystery series, and she was considering it. And I told her I wouldn't. So take that with a grain of salt. Certainly you can do your own research. You can decide what works for you. And if you've used it or if you have experiences with it, I would absolutely love to hear them. Because again, I could be wrong. I know it's hard to believe, but I could be wrong. And if I am, I try really hard when I'm wrong to admit it and learn from it. So if I am, certainly let me know. Anita is asking about the World Book Awards. And I have to say, Anita, I have not personally had any experience with the World Book Awards. If anyone else on the call has, please feel free to let me know. But I will say that I really enjoy the Ally Watchdog Book Awards database. And let me drop that in. Okay. I will actually share it. Hang on, I'll share it and then I will drop the thing in. So when looking at book awards and whether or not they're worth it and if they have a good reputation and all the good stuff, I dropped the link right here on the chat, but it's self-publishingadvice.org and it's in their watchdog desk. And I'm going to share my screen. This is open to the public. You don't have to be an Ally member. And they have this thing where they rate book awards based on different criteria, and it's recommended, mixed, or caution, or they just don't know. So let's see if they have World Book Awards. They don't even have it in here, which tells me either it's not got much steam at the moment, maybe, or it's newer. But you can certainly, if you're looking for awards, this is a great place to find them. You can do it by the rating. So what I often do is say, I'm going to go through and I'd have to go backwards and I'm too lazy to do that right now, but I'm going to go through and go by the rating, and I'm going to go through and kind of find the most recommended awards and work backwards from that way to see which ones might fit my book and that might work for me. And it gives you the price when it's available. It's linked right to it. So it's a really fantastic resource that I've enjoyed and I recommend very highly. I know quite a few people on the call also have used Book Awards Pro, which is a company that searches out book awards for your book. So I think that is a good program as well. Book Awards Pro is something that saves you time. If you're short on time, they certainly help with that. Do keep in mind that you're paying for that service. So for some people, they'll say, I'll take the time to research and submit my own book for awards. Some people say, I want my book in Book Awards. I don't have the time, so I'm going to use Book Awards Pro. In which case, go for it. Have at it. It's all about your goals, your availability, and your budget, and making them all work together to make sure that you're getting what you need on this publishing journey. That's why we have so many great places that have services. Are they fit for everybody? No. Are they fit for some people? Are they awesome? Yeah, absolutely. All right. Got that one. Okie dokie. Another question I got, water. Water is important. Please hydrate, especially in the winter. I know even when you're not hot and sweating, you still need to hydrate. Don't drop your really heavy metal water bottle though. That makes a lot of noise. All right. A question that I've gotten or run into, goodness, I think I've spoken to 3 authors on this subject this week. And so I wanted to make sure I carved out a little bit of time to talk about self-publishing and indie publishing, hybrid publishing or assisted publishing, and traditional publishing. And I talked to an author this week who said, I'm wondering if traditional publishing is the only way to go, if self-publishing is really not ever going to get me anywhere, or if it's new and it's trending and it works. And here's what I have to say on that. When it first started, indie publishing was really looked down upon. It was very much seen as the thing people did when they couldn't make it in traditional publishing. And it's grown by leaps and bounds since then, because what we've realized is that traditional publishing and that whole machine can only publish so many books. And as we have evolved and we have print on demand and KDP and Ingramspark, and we have opportunities as indie authors, we have the opportunity to get our stories out, to make of them what we will. Is traditional publishing awesome? Yeah, and for some people, that is their die-hard goal. For some people, traditional publishing, it's that or bust. And they will continue writing and querying, or in some cases, querying a title, a book, doing edits, querying the same book, doing edits, querying again, the same book, and never writing anything new. And that's fine. If your big goal is traditional publishing and that's all you're interested in, then go for it. Although I will say that if your goal is traditional publishing, don't stop writing. Great, finish your masterpiece, query it. While you're querying, continue to write your next book. Because if you have 10 books to query, you've got 10 times the chances of landing a publishing deal. And once you get an agent, once you get a publishing deal, your other stories have more of a chance, or you have more of a chance. So don't stop writing, even if you're decisive on traditional publishing. Also, if you decide to go indie later down the road, you have a huge backlist. You can rapid release. You have so much content and opportunity to jump into the indie market. And guys, indie publishing doesn't mean the cast off. It does not mean you can't be successful, you can't be popular, you can't make money. We know that for sure. This week alone, I've spoken to a minimum, and mind you, I was on jury duty, so I worked like half a week. I've spoken to 7, trying to count my calls, there have been a lot, 7. I've spoken to 7 authors who make more than $100,000 a year on their writing through indie publishing. I have one author that I work with who did traditional and indie. She stopped her traditional publishing deals because she was killing it in the indie market and she was taking all the profits. She was like, why would I continue to give my profits to somebody? Because that is what her goal was. Her goal wasn't just to be published with HarperCollins. Her goal was to make a career as an author, to make money, and to treat it like a business. So she went indie all the way and she is killing it. And she's growing. We're working together and she's marketing and she's growing her income and her audience and she's killing it. I think that's pretty darn successful. She is more popular. Her name is out there more than some of my traditional clients. And that's fine because that's her goal. So there's also hybrid or assisted publishing. We know lovely companies that do this. And these are people who say, hey, you've got an indie book. You want to publish it, but you need some hand holding. You need someone who's got connections and knows the ropes. And so we're going to help you along that process, and we'll publish under our publishing house. So you have the face of traditional publishing, but more of the creative control of indie publishing. And you kind of get to meet in the middle. That's okay too. My rule in publishing is find your goals, decide what matters most to you, and then explore the options that get you there. If it's traditional publishing, if it is, getting a deal with HarperCollins, great. Find your goal what path gets you there? Write, query, write, query. Keep on writing, keep on querying, and hope that it happens. If your goal is to make a business out of being an author and you want to make money and have control and drive that business, indie publish, make it happen. Write, sell, write some more and sell some more and market the heck out of those things and make it happen. If your goal is simply that you have a project that you want to get out there and you don't want the time for a traditional publisher to pick it up, but you also have a full-time job and you don't want to learn how to be a publisher, go find your assisted publishing. Go find your hybrid publisher that can help make it happen. But in all things, do it well, do it professionally. And professionally does not mean trade. Professionally means that you are learning the business, that you're working with people that know the business, and you're putting out a product you can be proud of. Be proud of your product. Know that your product can and will sell because what you created is something that is professional. And that is my advice. Find your goal and then what gets you there. There's no wrong goal. I mean, you're not going to tell me my goal is not good or my goal is a bad or a poor choice. It's my goal and it's your goal. So that's my motivation for the new year, you guys. Find your goal and find what gets you there and ask yourself what you're willing to do to make it happen. If I want to get a 6-pack of abs, great. My goal is a 6-pack of abs. I need to go to the gym or to work out to get those abs. I need to make sure I'm on a healthy eating plan to get those abs. It's not enough to know the path. You've got to take it and you've got to work for it. And that is why I love working with authors who want to help themselves. I don't want to work with an author who says, do it for me. I can't sell my books. My books aren't selling. So you can do it for me, right? You can make my books sell. No, that's not how it works. In any market, you have to want to help yourself. You have to be able and willing to do what it takes. And sometimes that means putting money into it or time or resources. It's all about doing what it takes to push yourself forward. And you drive that ship in large part. Now, can you make yourself get a traditional deal or get an agent? No, but you can certainly give yourself the best chance. And that's what it's all about. Find your goal, decide on the path and what you're willing to do to get there, and then drive it forward. And that is my TED Talk for today. I'll move on now. Yes. Okay, so this is a good question too. Caroline's asking, am I correct that the only way into trade is through literary agents? Yes and no, Caroline. Some smaller publishers or smaller imprints will take direct submissions, typically in genres that put out a lot of content. Romance, mystery. These are the two. Cozy mystery and romance are the two that will sometimes have different imprints, and maybe they'll only open it up for a little bit, taking all submissions for 6 weeks. Or, they have it online where you can always submit. And that is one way to get into the trade. Typically, though, if you want a foot into the door with HarperCollins, with Macmillan, or one of their big imprints, you do have to have a literary agent. They do not even accept pitches from authors. You have to have a literary agent to get your foot in the door. They are the gatekeepers of trade publishing. And that is how it works. And that's why it's so hard, because there's only so many agents and there's so many imprints with the big publishers, and they're only publishing so many books. So if you want one of the big publishers, you do indeed need to have an agent, except for in very, very, very rare cases. Let's see. Yeah, university presses, Randy, good call. University presses do often accept submissions. Keep in mind that university presses are typically focused on books that can be used as textbooks. There are some exceptions. Some of them do have lines that are focused more on certain demographics or certain stories, but do know if your book is not a textbook and you go with a university press, they are not used to marketing to the world at whole. They are used to marketing to colleges, to textbooks, and to libraries, and that is it. They do what they do, and good luck. So just keep that in mind. It will affect your marketing and your pricing. So if you have a memoir and you want to get it through a university press because you are an athlete of color who, or you've got a story about an athlete of color who has really just knocked it out of the park, a university press may pick it up, but they're only going to do what they do, and that's it. So just know that's how it goes. Yeah, literary fiction could sometimes work. It really depends, because literary fiction, keep in mind, textbook or books that are used in classes. So if it's something that could be used in an English class or some type of high level college learning, they will pick up those books as well. So that's definitely an option, and you can apply directly. And then we have the question of what do about certain companies. I shall name no names because that's how we roll here. There are certain companies that do prey on writers and authors who give hybrid or assisted publishing a bad name. So let's put that out in the air. Let's just air all our business today. There are assisted or hybrid companies that are beautiful, that are wonderful, that I would send you to any day of the week, who will help you publish your book, market your book, and put it under their name. And they're upfront. They're honest about what it is. They're not out to scam you. They're there to work with you. And they tend to be very boutique-y or small. And I have lovely relationships with those people, and I am happy to work with them and endorse them. Then there are companies that will take literally any book, and they will say, if you pay us enough money, we'll publish your book. And they do. They publish their book, they get it up, they get it out. We call this pay to play. And while technically, when working with some hybrid or assisted publishing, that's technically pay to play. I see it more as assisted. Then there are companies that we call pay to play, because it's how much money do you have? And if you have enough, you can get your book published. It doesn't need to be good. It doesn't need to be edited. It doesn't, I mean, there are some companies, and they put out books that just pay to pray. See, Randy, this is why we keep you around. You got our verbiage going on. They take people and they tell them, and they offer them, they make it sound like a traditional publishing deal. Oh, we would love to publish your book, Mr. Barnum. We just think it's fabulous. That'll be 10 grand. And for that 10 grand, you get to go under our imprint, and we will not do anything other than maybe create a cover for you, put it up on channels, and then take part of the profits if you sell it. And that's not all hybrid. Again, this is not all of them, but there are a couple companies that are really, truly terrible. Most of them are listed on Ally's Watchdog desk, which again is one of the reasons why I love my Ally membership. But when I was talking to Orna Ross, she said part of the problem is a lot of these companies will get shut down because they have such horrible BBB ratings and different things. They'll get shut down, and then they'll open up under another name. There will always be people out there who want to prey on you. And there will always be people who, if you give them enough money, will sing and say, you've got the best book ever. And you may have the best book ever. There are people who use these companies and they actually have a great book and they've got it in them to market it, and it actually goes big. Awesome. But that's not always the case. And so do your research, ask around. That's the best I can say. And just be wary and be honest. Join communities like ours so that you can kind of learn the things to ask, the things that you want to know as an author will or will not be available to you. And I think that's important as well, because most of the time when I talk to authors who have been in this situation, they say, I didn't know. I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know what to ask. I didn't know that I wanted this or that. So it's really important that before you jump in, that you definitely kind of educate yourself on what kind of company you want to work with. And again, I will not name names, but there are watchdog sites and things like that that you can do. And the best that we can do is educate. That's why we have Free Advice Friday, so that we can share knowledge, we can educate, and we can do our little tiny part to make the whole community of publishing and authors better. And I hope we do that. I think we do. Again, takes the whole community. All right, let's see. Yeah, and so again, it's all, I will not name names, but it's all about your experience and what you're, again, also your goal. I have some people who are like, well, I want to use this company. And I'm like, well, what do you want to do with your book? And I talked to someone recently actually who said, I want to use this company, or I'm using this company to self-publish my book or hybrid publish, and I'm paying them. And then I was like, but then I said, what are your goals? And the person said, my goal is to have a book printed that I can gift to my grandchildren before I die. And this was an older person. I don't think they were at death's door, but that was their goal. It wasn't to market. It wasn't to sell. It wasn't to be an author that made money or as a business. Their goal was to work with someone who had the ability to get their book, their manuscript formatted and printed so that they could gift it to family and friends. In that case, if they meet your budget, if they're doing, if you know, and you've got a clear idea and that's all you want, and you don't want to learn the ropes of anything and you've got an easy contract, if it meets your goals, it meets your goals, and that's up to you. It's between you, your God, your pocketbook, and that's completely up to you. There's not a wrong and a right in many instances. It is always, what's your goal? What's going to get you there, and what are you willing to put up for it? If your goal is simply to get a book printed and there's a company that'll get you there and you're willing to front the money to make it happen really quickly, great, meet your goal. All right. Yes, there are in some cases, they'll still call those companies, as Linda asked, vanity presses. When someone pays to get their book published, sometimes they call them vanity presses. There's lots of names for them, just depends. And it used to be, excuse me, it used to be that if you paid to get your book published, it was just, there's traditional and do it yourself. If you paid to get your book published, you were scammed. That's not the case anymore. As I said, publishing has just come such a long way that that's not the case. There are simply people who have great content they want to put out and they need help. And that's what assisted publishing is for. So different options. Yes, IBPA has hybrid publisher criteria, which helps weed out some of those things as well, which is great. Can I tell you which book awards for indie or self-published authors are the most prestigious? I'll name a few. This is not a total list. I will say that there are some very prestigious guys. There are some very prestigious awards that go by genre. So for instance, in the romance writing genre, the Maggie Award is like the award to get. It's given out by Romance Writers of America. That's huge. IBPA has the Ben Franklin Awards, which are very highly thought of. And then there is the Eric Hoffer Awards. There are trying to think of a couple. Typically, when you're looking at awards and whether or not it's like wow or not, look at how many awards they give out. How many people win this award? How many times do they run it? Do they run this award quarterly or do they run it yearly? Does everyone win an award? Is there only one gold winner? Reader's favorite, for example. They do a lot of awards. They do a lot, and it's awesome to get a Reader's Favorite Award. However, they give out a lot of awards, so they're not valued quite as much in the market. IBPA does once a year in different genres, so it's seen as a little bit more prestigious. So there's that. The Chanticleer Awards is one of those that I like Chanticleer. I think they're a good company. I have submitted books to awards there, and I think that they've been fair in their process. I will say that they do give out quite a few awards. So it's one of those things where it's certainly not going to hurt you by any means. If you win a Chanticleer Award and you put it up on Amazon or something like that, there are going to be people who are like, wow, you did that. And it's like, yeah, I did. If you put it in front of a book buyer, they're going to be like, I know how many awards they give out. So it just, again, it depends what's your goal. But I do like, overall, I think Chanticleer is fair. Their pricing isn't outrageous. So take that as you will. And again, that resource from Ally with the watchdog list, totally love it. Let me see. I do have to hop off in just a minute because I do have another appointment today. My schedule, as I try to catch up, is jam-packed for the next 2 weeks. By the way, if I owe you an email, my friends, thank you so much for your patience over the last couple of weeks. As I said, between jury duty and the holidays and some sickness, thankfully not me, but my family, and things like that, I have been backed up. So I so appreciate that. And yes, so a question we are getting is about Books to Big Screen, which is a new program I'm so excited about. An author that I worked with, Dr. Rob Carpenter, he's in filmmaking and producing, and he's in that industry in Hollywood. And we were working together on his book, and I started to learn about the film industry. And I was like, Rob, this is amazing. Tell me more. We would like spend half of our calls where we'd talk about his book and half where I'd pick his brain about the film industry. And the more we started talking about it, the more we realized that there's this market for authors to sell their books, not to write screenplays, although you can if you want to, but to sell their books into the marketplace and to sell the rights for film. And so we started developing, it's been like a year. We started developing this program where Rob teaches authors about the film industry, because what we saw was there were programs where you could submit your book or your ideas for film. There's a very popular one where you can submit your book or just any old idea. You can just say, I have this idea for film, and you can upload it and it goes into this database. But what we saw this hole in was training authors how to work in the film industry, teaching them the language, teaching them what's expected of them if they get a book deal. Because what I was seeing personally is sometimes they'd get a little nibble and authors would freak out and they wouldn't know how to work in the film industry. And so they were noobs. And what happened is they were losing those deals because they didn't know how to play the game. And in some cases, they were paying out so much money for materials that they could really make themselves or make on a budget, that kind of thing. And so Rob started working on this program where he teaches authors how to work in the film industry, what's expected of authors, what you can ask for, what you can't ask for. And it's this self-guided module where you do this. And it's got interviews with Emmy Award winners and producers and directors and agents. And it's fabulous. And it also tells you not only about the film industry and how to work with them, but what materials you need, how you get those materials done. And then it also tells you how to pitch your material directly to agents. A database is great, right? Getting pitched directly, awesome. But it's really important to Rob and I, as we were making this program, that we didn't just give you a fish. We wanted to teach you how to fish so that you can continue with all of your books to pitch your book to the film industry. You know where to find people, you know how to approach them. And it was something that was really a passion project of ours. And as we were doing this, we were talking to people, producers, agents, and what started happening is agents and producers started coming to us saying, I heard that you know a lot of authors and we want ideas. We want book ideas, but we don't want to work with people who don't know how to work in the film industry. So they started asking us to pitch them books as they went through the program. And so what happened is we now have this program called Books to Big Screen, where you can learn the process of working through the film industry. You create the materials to pitch your book. We actually walk through it. You get a one-on-one with someone in the Books to Big Screen tribe, and you get a one-on-one to refine your materials. And then once those are done, it has to be based on a book, not just an idea, a book that's already written. Once that's done, we have a list of agents and producers and directors who have asked to get those pitches, and we are directly putting it out there, which is amazing. And like I said, it's just amazing because we have people, and we also have authors and producers and things coming to us saying, hey, we want a book that is written around sports. It can be fiction, it can be nonfiction. We need a really juicy story around sports. Do you have anything like that? And we're able to actually look through the books that we've worked with and pinpoint if it's maybe a good idea for them. So it's a really fabulous, it's really amazing, and we're very excited. And Rob and I did do a webinar on this. So it's like a whole hour where we talk about things. And we did that this past week. I'm going to drop the link right here. There we go. I'm going to drop the link. And so it's now a course. It's Books to Big Screen. It's usually $9.99 for the course, where you go through it and you get all these resources. And at the end, you get pitched to our list of agents and producers that have come to us. And we're adding to that list literally by the week. We have a call with another producer next week. And so you get pitched to them, and it's usually $9.99. I wheedled. I was like, but Rob, it's my people. And so he agreed to have us drop it down to $6.99 until Saturday. So if you follow the link, you can watch the webinar. If you want to hop in, you can. We're going to have a Facebook group. And we already have one of our very own authors who joins us on Free Advice Friday a lot, Julia Brewer Daly, has already been approached by agents who are wanting to sign with her. And so we're waiting. Film moves slow, just like traditional publishing, film moves slow, but we are waiting because we actually have that kind of offer on the table where they want to work to sell her book, their agent. So they would work to sell their book and actively pitch her book into Hollywood. They've got connections with Netflix and some of the top agencies and programming. So very exciting stuff. And if you have questions, let me know, but go watch the webinar. It's got a lot of information in there. If your book is not quite published, but it's done, you can still go through it. The key piece is it has to be a book that's done. We're not looking for people who have wild stories and could write something, could write a screenplay. We want stories that are done. We want books that are done. And that's kind of the key piece to it, is it has to be a completed book or a completed story. And that's kind of what, again, sets us apart from some other programs, which have their own place. Again, meet your goals, but what we do is it must be a book, it must be a completed story, and it's not just saying we'll put you in our database. We are teaching you how to create your own materials and pitch yourself out, as well as pitching your stories out to the list that we've created and the people that have come to us. So that's what it is. I'm obviously very excited about it, and I hope you guys are too. We've already got a nice group that started, and you can join it there. And if you're watching this as a replay, you can always go to newshelves.com/BTBS, Books to Big Screen, and that will direct you right to that page. All right, you guys, it's a little after 11. I've got to run because I've got another call, but I am so excited for the new year. I'm glad to be back. Again, thank you for your patience as I've been going through all the things the last month and a half. I really appreciate it. I've carved out time this weekend to really catch up on things and emails. So you will be hearing from me in the next couple of days if you haven't in a while, and we will be back here same time, same day next week, or you can catch the replay on YouTube at New Shelves. No, you can catch the replay on YouTube at youtube.com/newshelvesbooks. Bye, guys.